Hi, I'm Noah, and I'm roasting every US president in order again. Today I'll be roasting 7th US president and a man who looks like the word harumph was his idea, Andrew Jackson. Jackson's mother initially wanted him to become a minister, but gave up when it became clear that he was too stubborn and quick to anger. I realize he was just a kid, but it's so funny that Jackson was such a little brat that his mom was like, not even God can fix this. When Jackson was a young man, he got a job far away from home, and on his journey there, acquired an enslaved young woman named Nancy to be his servant, which historian Robert Remney said was a part of Jackson's attempt to appear to be a gentleman. It's interesting that Jackson wanted to arrive with an enslaved servant to show his new community who he was, and in bad news for Jackson, it did show them exactly who he was. In 1794, Jackson and a business partner began to buy and sell land in the newly opened up Tennessee Territory, although the native people who lived in those areas still claimed ownership of much of the land they were dealing in. I knew Jackson was in favor of removing Native Americans and taking their land, I just didn't realize he thought that you could do the second one before the first. Jackson was a harsh slave master, once offering a reward for anyone who could capture a particular slave that had escaped from Jackson, and offering to pay extra for every lashing that the man received, up to 300 lashings, which would almost certainly kill the man. Jackson is so evil that I heard that he wanted to pay someone to whip a man until the man was dead, and my honest reaction was, wow, I didn't realize that Jackson would want them to stop when the man was dead. Jackson wasn't just a slave holder, he was also a slave trader, actively buying and selling ownership of people well into his old age. A lot of early presidents were born into slaveholding. Jackson is the only person who was so committed to it that he seemed like he was born for slaveholding. Jackson killed a man named Charles Dickinson in a duel to resolve a dispute that was originally about a canceled horse race between Jackson and Dickinson's father-in-law. I would say that's an extremely silly reason to duel, but I actually think that there's no such thing as a bad reason to shoot Andrew Jackson. Alright, please consider donating to help the family that I sponsor in Gaza. If you'd like to support me or watch bonus videos, please check out my Then let me know who else to roast, and join me next time for part 2 of my roast of 7th US President and a man whose tiny glasses make me thankful that he lived at a time before synthesizers existed, Andrew Jackson.